Hi, everyone. Jacqueline Kuhn here with JacquelineKuhn.com, powered by Angels. And I'm here with the Cancer season video. We go into Cancer season on the 20th, which is tomorrow. I'm recording this on the 19th, and the energy is shifting. Are you feeling it? I'm feeling it a little bit. I haven't felt it as much as I do some other signs, but I have felt it a little bit. So let's get started and talk about the energy, the archangels, the soul purpose work. And I've got some exciting announcements at the end as well. So let's take it from now. As we move into Cancer season, this Saturday, the 20th, like I said, I'm recording this on the 19th. The energy that shifts around us is really moving from air and the world fast moving, whirlwind of Gemini to the intuitive, emotional, and deeper waters of Cancer. This is the time of year where our mind begins to soften, our hearts open, our soul asks us to come home to ourselves. It's not loud. Cancer season isn't flashy. It's not about doing more. It's about feeling more and trusting that those feelings are real and what they are telling you to pay attention, right? It's about trusting in your own intuition that what you are feeling is a sign. And you're trying to communicate, right? Your soul is trying to come out and communicate with you. So during Cancer season, given that it's the first water sign of the zodiac, water brings us back to the emotional body, right? And our bodies are made up of primarily water. So we're definitely impacted by the ebb and flow of water. You also want to remember that Cancer is ruled by the moon, and the moon also governs cycles, and particularly cycles of the water. So what happens is your intuition becomes louder. Your sensitivity may increase, memories might surface, and relationships tend to feel more important. You also can't deny your need for safety, comfort, and connection. So Cancer will ask you, where do I belong? What feels like home? What needs nurturing? What needs healing? What needs to be released so I can feel emotionally free? This is the season for emotional intelligence, for honoring your inner world and reconnecting with the parts of you that you may have pushed aside during busier seasons. So we're talking intuitive, emotional truth, belonging, and inner safety. So this shift from air to water is pretty powerful. So let's really talk about this. So Gemini is very mental, right? It's cerebral and it's governed by Mercury, right? Lots of thinking. It's curious, it's social, it's communicative, and it moves kind of fast, right? You get ideas and conversations, connections, movement. Air is much faster, right? It blows through things, right? It permeates through things, where water is a little more deliberate. It's not as fast as the air. The air like helps to make water move, right? And it kind of pushes water to move, but on its own, without a lot of air or wind, bodies of water are quite stable, quite serene, quite peaceful. So that's why Cancer season is so emotional, and it asks us to go deep, right? Intuitive and nurturing and personal. And it is the season of home, memory, emotional truth, and belonging. And isn't it ironic that it really spans June and July, where, these are seasons where people do tend to come home for things, right? The children that go away to college, university, come home in the summer. People visit each other in the summer. Summer parties, people go to each other's homes, particularly here in the northern, in the northern part of the Americas. So yeah, this is that sort of homey kind of feeling. And so it shifts what we're experiencing from thinking to feeling, from talking to listening, from external stimulation to internal nourishment. So if you think about Gemini as the wind that carries the message, Cancer is the water that holds the meaning. Yeah, that's pretty powerful. The water that holds the meaning. And because of it, every season has its soul purpose work. And, Cancers could be some of the most transformative of the year, if you just take time and slow down a little to do the work. And these are the 6 areas of what your soul is being invited to look at. Your emotional attunement. That's a very key word. So when I get there, just remember it's attunement, not action. Inner safety, ancestral healing, boundary refinement, self-nurturing, and intuitive listening. So emotional attunement is about noticing what you feel without judgment so that you can learn from it. So a soul purpose activity during Cancer season is, at the end of the day, reflect and journal about how you felt throughout the day. What gave you joy and happiness, made you angry or frustrated or sad, and why? And just write that down and acknowledge the feeling without judgment, without taking corrective action, just to understand what triggers your emotions. Because this season will allow you to work on those triggers and actually make the changes in the upcoming months. So this is about attuning into the why you feel that way, maybe what triggers you, so that in the coming months, the soul purpose work would be to address them. So don't put the pressure on yourself to feel bad about how you felt or that you have to change it during Cancer season. We will get there in the upcoming seasons, particularly Virgo season. Inner safety. So do you know what you need to feel safe? Inner safety is about creating that sense of home within yourself. And your moon placement in your birth chart is your key. So revisit this placement. If you don't know the moon placement in your birth chart, and that's the sign and house that the moon is in, please let me know. I can create a chart for you for no charge. If you want a session to interpret how that plays into your soul purpose, I can do that for you as well. But that's really key, because revisit this placement and ask yourself, is my life aligned with my needs in this area? And then what does need to change to gain better alignment? Again, this may not be the time to make those changes, but be aware of what you may need to do for those changes to occur. So inner safety, because Cancer is governed by the moon, and the moon is one of the keys to your soul purpose. It's the key to what triggers you and what makes you feel emotionally safe. So take a look at that, and if I can help you in any way, please reach out. The next is our ancestral healing. Cancer does rule lineage. And during this season, old stories may resurface, and they're not resurfacing to overwhelm you or to cause you any, anxiety, but they want to be rewritten, right? Those lessons from the past need to be learned, closed out, so that you can learn to move forward. A couple of key things is review, pull out that birth chart and review the south node of your birth chart. That indicates the past life lessons you are being called to let go in this life. Also, consider doing a visit to the Akashic Records. The Akashic Records are the records of the lives that your soul has led. Also, there may be patterns from the past that are reoccurring in your life today. Sometimes a quiet meditation or a guided meditation can help you uncover that as well. If you again need any help with this, please contact me. These are all services I can provide for you. And what you're going to need to do is literally clear these by what I call cutting the cord across all dimensions and lifetimes. And so you need to kind of sit in a quiet meditation. I mean, you're not in any kind of trance. It's not like you're in a hypnosis. It's just going inside, going deep, and recognizing and naming those lessons and patterns and cutting the cord, releasing them, and no longer relating to them across all dimensions and lifetimes. Cancer, given that it does rule lineage and you can pick up ancestral, issues from DNA or from lives your soul have lived in the past. This is a perfect season for doing that. And then, boundaries are not walls. They're containers for our emotional well-being, right? So we do need to set boundaries in order for us to be emotionally safe and secure and not overwhelmed. And so one of the days, or a couple of days during Cancer season, literally find 10 to 20 minutes, ideally 20, and sit in reflection and journaling to identify the boundaries that are either too broad or too intrusive, people who don't honor your boundaries, or boundaries that have been made that compromise you in some way. Because they're here to keep us safe. They're here to keep us secure and for us to show up with consistency. If your boundary is, I will get back to you in 24 hours, then that is your boundary, right? If someone says, I need a response sooner, but you can't do it, say, I'm sorry. 24 hours is my expectation. It helps you show up with this consistency. And so when you know, when you honor the boundaries you need to set for yourself, obviously your day-to-day life becomes easier. People find it easier to work with you because they know what to expect. When you continue to move the needle on where your boundaries lie, people don't know what to expect from you, and or they feel that they can um, make their own boundaries for you. Yeah, I wanted to put that they can make their own boundaries for you, which you never want to do. So when you sit down, identify what boundaries that you need to tighten up. Which do you need to expand? Which are you like maybe keeping too many people out for fear or whatever reason? So look at those. And then, of course, this is Cancer season. It's time for inner healing and feeling. And so don't forget to indicate how you feel about tightening up or expanding these boundaries, because some profound work can be done with boundary work. Next, it's all about self-nurturing. Um, I cannot tell you how important it is to nurture yourself today based on the person you want to be in the future. Let's say 6 months from now. Like, what do you need to do today so you can be that person you want to be 6 months from now? And so give yourself permission to do something special for yourself today. I'm going to give you an example. Um, I I myself am on a journey just like you are. I listen to other people. I go to summits as an attendee. Some of them I speak at, but I go as an attendee. These are self-nurturing acts I do for myself so that knowing where I want to be in 6 months, nurturing myself today so I can get there. So during Cancer season, a perfect time for self-nurturing. So find some of those those speakers, those summits, those folks on, YouTube who have other self-nurturing content, and give yourself permission to watch it. Give yourself permission to sit in something for a while. And when you do that, pick up what you want, leave what doesn't speak to you, and that's okay, right? It's for you to uncover what you need to uncover, and you can always, you don't have to take everything someone is giving. Give yourself permission to do that as well. So do something like that during this Cancer season, and I guarantee that you'll come out of it with a much different perspective on who you need to be in 6 months, and it'll help go a long way for achieving what you want to achieve in like that 6 month period. And last but absolutely not least, intuitive listening. Cancer, because it's the moon is our intuition, it's Archangel Haniel, the divine intuitive guide. So this is a great time to tap into what your intuition wants you to know. Do you know your somatic yes and your somatic no? Do you know your own body's signs when things are right and wrong? Our bodies will tell us yes and no. And if you don't know how to do that, I will walk everyone through that during the next workshop. And in fact, I will probably either open or close the workshop with an exercise like that. But once you know what your body is going to do when something is intrinsically right or wrong, you're listening intuitively to your soul. You're listening to your knowingness. So, to build this up and to build a discipline of listening to your intuition, ask Archangel Haniel to join you, and go outside, no distractions, right? Don't put music in, no distractions. Turn your phone off from any messaging, no vibration, no nothing. Sit in silence or just walk 20, 30 minutes, an hour if you can, and listen to what comes up for you, right? Just listen to what's being brought up. When you are outside in silence, you're grounded and your intuition begins to kick in. And then I want you to record what you learned, either afterward if you can remember it, or most of you walk around with your phones anyway. So record. You can record the messages as you get them, right? Don't turn your phone on for music or for someone to call you or text, nothing like that. But you can use it as a recording device, unless you've got a great memory and you're going to write what came up for you afterwards. And do this a couple of times, right? And see what comes up. What does your intuition want you to know? So this is the sole purpose work of Cancer season. It's to feel, to heal, to soften, to strengthen, and to trust the wisdom of your emotional body. And no season would ever be complete without working with our archangels. As an angel ambassador, I've identified four archangels to work with this energy of Cancer. Um, Gabriel, Haniel, Metatron, and Raphael. Gabriel, who is the guardian of Cancer, is an angel for clarity, intuition, emotional healing, and all methods of communication, including divine communication. His energy is he's gentle, but he's very powerful. It's that soft voice that tells you the truth. It's that energy of emotional clarity after a wrong period of confusion. It's the energy of being held, supported, and guided. Remember that Gabriel was the archangel that sent messages from God to Mary, to the wise men, to Joseph, and many others in a lot of scripture. He is mentioned in many, many aspects, many, many parts, Old Testament and New Testament in scripture. And as this guardian of Cancer, this divine communicator and emotional messenger, he will help you, speak your truth, understand your emotions. He can help strengthen your intuition so you can hear what your intuition is saying, right? Communicating with your insides, connecting with your inner child. He also has a role with children and parenting, but that inner child, and then giving you permission to nurture yourself without guilt. He's the perfect guide for this season because this is a time when emotions rise, and ask Gabriel to help you interpret them, not drown in them. And then we have our beloved Haniel. Archangel Haniel is one of the higher archangels. She is not tied to any zodiac sign. She is just divine intuition and lunar wisdom. Cancer is governed by the moon, right? So, as the archangel of intuition and grace and emotional flow, as well as the feminine wisdom and moon cycles, women's cycles, right? Um, her energy is just so exquisitely aligned with this frequency. She can be soft but luminous, right? Deeply attuned to the moon, right? That's why she's so luminous. It's like she speaks through the moon. Um, where Gabriel brings clarity, Haniel brings the knowing. Gabriel can help you speak your truth. Haniel can help you feel your truth. So she helps you, strengthen all that is inside, your inner guidance, your intuition, helps you release the emotional heaviness, move through emotions, access your higher feminine wisdoms, regardless if you're male or female. Um, we all have feminine wisdom. We are all made of both parts. And she helps you access that. And then feel the truth in your body. She can help you with that somatic yes and that somatic no. And together, when you put Haniel and Gabriel together, they create a powerful intuitive channel for this season. So as you're working on your intuition, always bring in Archangel Haniel, and now during Cancer season, add Gabriel to that mix. We also have two supporting archangels for this season. We have Archangel Metatron, who is the keeper of the Akashic record, and he can help you identify ancestral patterns and past life lessons. His his cube, his sacred geometric cube, is a cleansing, healing, and almost um, attractor of these energies. If you don't have one, you might want to get one during the season and wear it to help you understand these energies, attract it so that they can be released. Do a guided meditation, asking him to come on the journey and show you in the Akashic record what you need to know or what you need to release, what you need to learn from your past. So while he's the archangel for Virgo season, given the work, the inner work, for Cancer season, he's a perfect complement to Haniel and Gabriel. And then Raphael is our divine healer. Like Haniel, he's not tied to his zodiac sign. And so he is just the divine healer, the divine presence of God's healing. So when these things come up, when you've identified what needs to be healed, asking to be healed, ask Archangel Raphael. I have a very simple invocation that I open up my sessions with, which is Archangel Raphael, heal me from anything blocking me physically, spiritually, emotionally, and help me, move forward, learn the truth. Right. So just asking him to heal you across all dimensions and lifetimes will be a huge help during this Cancer season. And I have a prayer for this Cancer season. So I'm going to read this aloud right now, and I welcome you to read this with me. Take a couple of deep breaths like I'm going to, so that we ground ourselves and we can feel their divine presence as they come forward. Beloved archangels, Gabriel, Haniel, Raphael, and Metatron, I welcome your presence as we enter Cancer season. Guide me from my mind to my heart, from thinking into feeling, from doing into being. Gabriel, help me hear the truth behind my emotions and speak with clarity, compassion, and courage. Haniel, awaken my intuition, soften my emotional body, and help me trust the wisdom rising within me. Let your lunar light guide me toward what is aligned and away from what is not. Metatron, guide me as I uncover my ancestral roots and learn to understand the lessons of the past that need healing in this season. Raphael, heal the memories, patterns, and wounds that rise for release during this season. Together, guide me to create a home within myself that feels safe, loving, intuitive, and aligned with my soul's purpose. And so it is. Keep this handy. You might want to bookmark this video, or just take a page shot so that you have this handy and with you. And now I'm going to come on screen and talk to you about some really exciting things that we've got coming up. The first are these upcoming workshops. So next week, I have the Purpose Alignment Workshop. This is a name your price. So anywhere from $1 to whatever. It's got a $35 value, so that's what I suggest. But I don't want price to keep you from doing your soul purpose work. That's why it's a name your price. So if you haven't got in on it yet, do so. If you can't make it live, you will have access to the video, and I will do a 15, 20-minute Q&A with you after you've watched the video if you need some help around it or have questions. July 10th, Venus in Virgo, what it means for you as Venus moves into Virgo. It's a real interesting sign under Virgo. This is a free little workshop. Bring your chart. As to all of these, bring your chart. If you don't have one, I can create one for you. And then July 25th, are you aligned with your soul purpose? More work on finding those areas of misalignment, identifying them, and doing the work. I have a new podcast coming out that I'm so excited about. It's called Powered by Angels, Guided Together. I and have been recording episodes with other spiritual practitioners who do things different than I do, different modalities. They focus on different aspects. And there will be 12 episodes. The first episode airs July 2nd. It will be here on my YouTube channel as well as in other podcast media. So look for that July 2nd. And then I wrote a book on living your soul's purpose. It's a part of the Business with Purpose series. It's a non-for-profit organization that is helping people like me and other people tell their stories. And so this is really all about living your soul's purpose. It includes pieces of my methodology, some soul purpose work, and the book will be coming out in early July. So please look for the announcement for that, because the initial offering will have the Kindle version at a very attractive price to increase my my Amazon numbers, right? So look for that. It's coming in early July. With that, I do want to thank you so much for continuing your journey with me and being with me here. As we move through Cancer season, remember that your emotions are guidance. Your sensitivity is intuition. Your inner knowing is sacred. Your need for connection is soul alignment. This is the season to soften, to listen, to nurture, and to trust the wisdom of your inner world. Cancer season is your annual invitation to come home to yourself. I'm Jacqueline Kuhn with JacquelineKuhn.com, powered by angels, and I am blessed to have you with me. Thank you so much. With purpose and light, until we are together again.